Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to White Pine District Library's Story Hour. Last week we talked about something very delicious, the apple, and how it has a flower or a star on the inside. This time of year we have a lot of things that grow on trees and in the garden that we are enjoying, and we're going to talk about one of those again this week. Unlike the apple, this does not grow on a tree. This item, I believe the clue I gave you was, it grows on a vine. It can be short and squatty or tall, and sometimes its name is Jack. I don't know if you guessed, but what we're going to talk about this week is a pumpkin. This pumpkin is what they call a pie pumpkin. So if you like pumpkin pie, this might be the pumpkin that you find in your pumpkin pie. It has a stem, and it has the skin. And you know, when you carve your Halloween pumpkin, you cut it open and you take all the insides out that have seeds and that are kind of stringy. And that is another part of the pumpkin. So the seeds and the stringy part are kind of like the non-edible part of this fruit. Now, you can eat the seeds if you roast them in your oven, but you don't want to eat the stringy stuff. It doesn't taste very good. So the pie pumpkin is a little smaller than our jack-o'-lantern, and they both have stems. They both have a skin, and some of them are different colored oranges. This one has a dark orange skin, and some of them a little lighter, maybe a little more yellow skin. And then when you open it up, you're going to find the seeds and that stringy part in the center, and then in between the seeds and the skin is the part we call the flesh. That's the part of the pumpkin that we eat when we make a pumpkin pie or any other yummy pumpkin dessert. So that is what we're going to talk about today. Now, there are several nursery rhymes that we can find in our Mother Goose books that talk about pumpkins. And one of them you probably know. It's called Peter, Peter the Pumpkin Eater. And it goes like this. Peter, Peter, pumpkin eater, had a wife and couldn't keep her. He put her in a pumpkin shell, and there he kept her very well. It also has a second verse that goes like this. Peter, Peter, pumpkin eater, had another and didn't love her. Peter learned to read and spell, and then he loved her very well. Now, I don't think I'd want to be Peter's wife because I don't want to live in a pumpkin. So I think I'd skip that one. But there's another one that we can do, and it talks about growing on a vine. It's called Little Jack Pumpkin Face. Now, we talked about the pumpkin being called Jack earlier. And when we decorate and carve our pumpkins for Halloween, we call them jack-o'-lanterns. So, this one's called Little Jack Pumpkin Face. Little Jack Pumpkin Face lived on a vine. Little Jack Pumpkin Face thought it was fine. First he was small, and he was green. Then he got big and yellow. Little Jack Pumpkin Face is a very fine, fine fellow. So he is a lot like our pumpkins that we brought with us today. Now, there is a little story that you will probably hear when you go to school. So I thought we'd get a head start on that. And it's called Five Little Pumpkins. So if you can hold your hand up and show us your 5 fingers. It says 5 little pumpkins sitting on a gate. First one said, "Oh my, it's getting late." The second one said, "There are witches in the air." The third one said, "But we don't care." The fourth one said, "Let's run and run and run." The fifth one said, "Isn't Halloween fun?" Then woo went the wind, and out with the lights, and 5 little pumpkins rolled out of sight. So hold up your 5 little pumpkins. There they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 little pumpkins. 5 little pumpkins sitting on a gate. The first one said, "Oh my, it's getting late." The second one said, "There are witches in the air." The third one says, "But we don't care." The fourth one said, "Let's run and run and run." The fifth one said, "Isn't Halloween fun?" Then woo went the wind, and out went the lights, and 5 little pumpkins rolled out of sight. So that's something you can work on at home. 5 little pumpkins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we have 5 on this hand too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 little pumpkins. Now, last week we talked about the apple, and we talked about wearing our masks. And I hope everybody's wearing their masks and making sure they're keeping the people they care about safe. And this week I have something I would like you to do. We have a drawing that's going on here at the library, and all you have to do is respond to this video and tell us what your favorite part is. And your name will go in a drawing to win this very big pumpkin. Let's see if I can get it in front of the screen so you can see it. Oh my gosh. It's a big pumpkin. So, if you respond to this video and tell us what your favorite part of this story hour was, your name will go in a drawing to win the pumpkin. And whoever's name that we draw from our little jar will get a phone call from us and probably an email or acknowledgement on the Facebook, and you'll be able to come in and pick up that pumpkin at that time. So make sure you respond to this video so you can have a chance to win the big pumpkin to take home and carve for your Halloween pumpkin or your Halloween jack-o'-lantern. Now, this year's Halloween will be a little different. There are some places that are going to have trick-or-treating, and some people are not going to do trick-or-treating. The biggest thing about the trick-or-treating is just being safe. So we need to make sure we wear our masks, because if we go out, we will be around other people, so we need to wear our masks. We need to also make sure that we are safe, and that means you go to homes of people that you know. You go to the homes of people that you already know, and you know it will be safe for you to trick-or-treat there. One of the other things that you need to do when you're trick-or-treating is to not eat any of the items that you get while you're trick-or-treating until your mom and dad have had a chance to look at them and make sure they are okay for you to eat. So another thing is if you're going to be out at night, you need to make sure that drivers or people on the roads can see you. So you need to make sure that you have something on your costume that is reflective or carry flashlights or something so that people around you can see you. And that would be another way to keep yourself safe. Another good idea would be to take an adult with you so that you have someone that's older to watch out for you, okay? So we want to make sure that we have an adult with us. We want to make sure that people can see us. We want to make sure we don't eat anything until our parents say it's okay. And we want to make sure that we go to homes of people that we know. Another thing that you need to do is if you are going to be near roads and streets, you need to follow the rules of the road. So if it says stop for the car, it also means you need to stop. Don't just dart out into the road because there could be a car coming. So you want to make sure you stop and look both ways twice. So look that way, and then that way, and that way before you go across the road, and make sure the adult that's with you, make sure they say it's okay to go. So be careful when you're out trick-or-treating if you go. And you know what? If you don't go this year, maybe you can do something fun at home. Do something a little different. Maybe you can have a treasure hunt in your house, and you can hide some treats in the house and find them in the house. Maybe you can watch a movie that's kind of scary with mom and dad and make some popcorn or something like that. Do something fun. Just be safe. Now, Halloween is a couple weeks out yet, so you have a lot of time to get your costume around. And you know what? You could send us a picture of you in your costume, and we could share that with our other Story Hour friends so they can see what you're wearing and what you look like, and they can share their costume. That might be fun and interesting to see what you come up with. But when you're trick-or-treating, please be safe and watch out for other people as well. Now, we do have busy bags here at the library for you. If you're interested, you can just give us a call on the phone. You can send us a message on an email or through Facebook. You can also just stop into the library and we will take care of that for you. This week in the busy bag, there are a lot of things about pumpkins because we were talking about pumpkins. Remember those 5 little pumpkins sitting on the fence? And little pumpkin face? So we have several things in our busy bag to make some pumpkin ideas and some pumpkin crafts. There are a few things that aren't pumpkin, but that's okay. There are a few surprises in there. Now this one's going to require some help from Mom and Dad. You're all going to get a shape of a pumpkin. This is that foam. And in one of your bags, because there are several bags in your busy bag with things to do, you're going to find some arrows for hands and a couple of shapes to put at, one will go here, one will go here, and one will go here, and one will go here. And you are going to make a clock so you can learn how to tell time. Now, moms and dads, you're going to have to help because you're the one that knows how to read a clock. So you will want to put those other numbers in there. So you're going to have 12 and 1, 2, 3 is at the quarter hour, 4, 5, 6 is at the next quarter hour, 7, 8, 9 is at that 15-minute mark, 10, 11, and then back to 12. And then there are the 2 hands. There's a little spot right here. The hole is already poked for you. And there is a little grommet in there So you can put your hands on there, and those hands should move around the face of your clock so that you can learn to tell time. That's in your busy bag today. There is a bag with, oh, let's see, there's some googly eyes in there. There's some pom-poms. There are some pipe cleaners. And you can make some kind of creature out of this. Maybe a spider, maybe, I don't know, something scary, maybe some kind of monster. You can make out of all those items in there. You can add some items to this if you want to. It's all up to you. Something to make a scary creature for Halloween. Maybe a decoration you can hang on your door. There are some shapes in our bag this week. We have squares and circles and triangles and hearts. And we also have them in different sizes. So there's a large heart, there's a medium-sized heart, and then there is a small heart right there at the bottom. So you can sort the shapes by what they are, or you can sort them by color, or you can make patterns. You can do all kinds of things with that. Now, there is also some construction paper in here. It looks like we have some orange and green and black. You can draw a pumpkin on there and make a pumpkin and maybe cut out a face out of the black, and maybe he has leaves or a stem. That's up to you. You make what you want out of that construction paper. Maybe you make strips of paper and your pumpkin has legs that you've folded that strip of paper so it looks like an accordion, and he has legs and arms. Maybe he has leaves on the end of that. Now, there are also some worksheet type things in there. What are the parts of a pumpkin? There's a pumpkin to color on here. You'll have to follow the instructions. What does it say to do? There's a picture of some kids picking pumpkins in the field. And then the poem or the little nursery rhyme, 5 Little Pumpkins, is in there. So you can work on acting that out. There's an alphabet page. There are a couple surprises, which I'm not going to tell you what they are because that's what a surprise is. And then remember, your items all come in this brown bag. Well, this week, your brown bag is going to be one of your craft projects. So what you do is you need to fold that bag down and make it flat again, like it was to start. And you might need some help from Mom and Dad. But you make it flat, and then you find a spot, and everything below a line that you pick, you color green or orange on the bottom, and then you color green up top. And then in your bag, there's some newspaper, and you wad that up. After you can draw a face on that pumpkin if you want to. You can stuff that newspaper in there, and then you pinch this and twist that top part that you colored green, and you'll have another pumpkin to decorate for Halloween. So there's a lot of things in our bag to do this week. I hope you have fun with the bag. Well, let's see. It's getting that time again to say goodbye. I want to remind you to comment on our page or on this video and try for a chance to win the big pumpkin, and pick what is your favorite part of the video. Do you like stories? Do you like poems? Do you like craft projects? Do you like learning something about the pumpkin? What did you like the best? I brought my friend back. Mr. Owl is here. He's waving. He's saying hello. And he is here because he's going to give me the clue for what our program is going to be next week. So let's see what Mr. Owl has to say. Oh. Okay. Well, next week, he says that some of these sing, some of them hum, and some of them ask questions. Ooh, I wonder what he could be talking about. So our clue for next week is some of them sing, some of them hum, and some of them ask who. So I hope you have a good weekend. This weekend is supposed to be a very nice weekend. And this coming week's looking pretty good. Pretty good. So get outside, enjoy the sunshine, play in the leaves, rake up a big pile of leaves and jump in the leaves and just have a lot of fun. But enjoy that outdoor time. It's going to get colder and we won't be able to do some of our fun things outside. Maybe you can take a trip to the pumpkin patch and just look at all those pumpkins that are growing on the vines and how different they can be, how their shapes are different. Some of them are short and squatty and some of them are very tall. Some of them are round and some of them are kind of flat and they're just all different shaped. But it'd be fun to see a whole bunch of pumpkins growing in the field. And if you get the opportunity, you could go pick one yourself and then take it home and plan out what you're going to do with that pumpkin for Halloween. Now, it is time to go, and Mr. Owl has given us our clue. He reminds you to make a comment on this video and to win the pumpkin because it's a big pumpkin, he says. It's a big, big pumpkin. And you would really like to have it for your jack-o'-lantern. So comment on the video and we'll put your name in the drawing and we'll see who wins that great big pumpkin. Now, it's time for us to go. I hope you have a good week. We hope to see you next week at story time when we determine who sings, hums, and asks questions. And come in and see us at the library. Check out a few books. Oh, I forgot to show you some books that we have here at the library. Mr. Owl is going to help me. This book is called Pumpkin Pumpkin. That's a big pumpkin that he's sitting on. That looks like a very intriguing story. We might have to read that one. Here's one that says, Grandpa and Grandma far away and the pumpkin patch. So maybe this pumpkin patch looks like a pumpkin patch near you. Oh, and they're carving pumpkins in this book. This might be a book that you would like to check out from the library. Here's a fun one. Oh, Mr. Owl, don't get excited. There's a mouse on there. It's called Ready for Pumpkins. I wonder what that mouse is doing with that pumpkin. We'll have to read the story to find out. Well, it's time for me to go. I hope to see you here at the library, and we hope that you have a nice day and get outside and enjoy the sun while it lasts. And read a book. Read a book. You can go all kinds of places in a book. You have a nice day. We'll see you next time. Bye.